Hello, everybody, and welcome to our Team LightenUp team call. Tonight, I'm super excited for this call because we have three-star Premier Coach Aimee Carswell on the team tonight. Okay, I forgot your name, like I don't know it. I've only known it for a year, right? Aimee on the call, and I'm super excited to learn from her because she's taken everything from the time she was a coach till now, and continuously she takes every resource that she learns and she puts it into action without excuses. So I'm super excited to hear what she learned at the New Leader Conference, and if she can tell us a little bit about the New Leader Conference, tell us what she learned there, but she's also going to share with her some steps to early success in your business. So I'm just going to let her go ahead and take it away, and then at the end, if you guys have any questions, you can ask any questions that you have. I hope you have pen and paper out to take notes because I'm pretty sure that we're going to learn some pretty good nuggets here. So you can go ahead and get started if you want, Aimee.
Hi guys, thanks Shawana for having me on. So if you guys want to hear a little bit about the New Leader Conference, because several of you, I'm sure that you can really push and make it this, qualify for this year. So basically, if the requirements are going to be the same, which I assume they probably will be the same as they were last year, so you had to be a 2-star diamond coach at least, a new 2-star diamond or above, and then have a certain amount of elite points, and those points were, I think they started in September. So I think it was like September through December's elite points. And I'm sure that you guys have heard calls on the elite point system, and that is like a whole call in and of itself. So I'm not going to explain it all. But of course there's FAQs and everything as well. But for sure, once you hit diamond, you should really be aware of the elite points in order to, know that if you're pushing for premier or elite or whatever. So basically, what our leaders have taught me, which I really like, is I pay attention to my elite points. But if you're working your business as you should be, which means recruiting new coaches and helping your coaches achieve Success Club, you're going to be not gathering, whatever. You're going to be getting whatever, earning elite points, right? So, it's not something you have to really hone in on the numbers for. But the cool thing is, if you have, I'm trying to remember what the numbers were. Maybe for me, it was if you had 10 elite points in September through December, you you qualified. And then if you had 20 elite points, you got your room paid for too. So that was pretty cool. So I had, my own private room, and obviously the conference paid for and everything. And, I know you guys have heard it before, but they really shower you with both training and gifts and stuff when you go to these things. When I went, obviously it was right before, obviously 22-minute hardcore is about to release, right? So it was awesome. Tony Horton was there. He did a live workout with us. We all got free 22-minute hardcore shirts. They gave us a backpack full of it's kind of funny because, you guys know I live in Texas, and it was a scarf and a, I don't know, hat, it was all this winter wear. So, and a little backpack, and then of course a notebook and pen and everything to write, but that was cool. And then, we did this little, last year, I think there was maybe 200 coaches, and this year there was 400. So it'll probably, maybe be even bigger this coming year just because people are having more and more success. But so what they did this year was we kind of played a game the last night, and they split us up into our regions because there was too many people to do everyone that was there. And so we also won little prizes for the game. Not everybody did, but my team got last place, so we won some booby prizes, which was kind of nice. So, but it's cool too because you get to meet the up and coming leaders, that are around the same level. And you also get to meet some of the bigger leaders on the team, because those are the people, not on the team, in the network, because those are the people doing the training. So like the people doing our trainings were Melanie Mitro, who you guys know is #1, Bonnie Engel, who I heard the other day, she's #2 this year. She finished at #5 last year. You guys, Bonnie Engel was at the New Leader Conference as a brand new 2-star diamond at the beginning of last year. She finished the year at 15-star. So, and basically what she said was she just took that training that they gave her and ran with it. So, you know, anyone can have success, right? And then Michelle Myers was there, who I know a lot of us heard at Platinum Edge also. I feel like there was one more person. Now I feel horrible that I can't remember who it was. Well, Melanie spoke twice, so maybe it was just them. And then, of course, like Jeff Hill spoke and Carl spoke and stuff like that. But, you know, and then like at the little events, I mean, I got to meet Bonnie. I got to meet Tony Horton. Autumn was there. You know, again, Carl was there and stuff. I mean, you could just kind of like chat with those people. It was crazy. So anyway, push for it, you guys, because I really have no doubt that everyone can achieve it on our team, because we are given phenomenal resources by our upline. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that. And then I'm going to talk about how I'm using both those resources right now and this new 5-day quick start that I started myself after hearing the training at the New Leader Conference. So basically when we went to the New Leader Conference, both Bonnie Engel and Melanie Mitro talked about one of the reasons they've had so much success is that they are really stressing the importance of success from the very get-go of when they first find coaches. Okay. I don't know, is someone, Shawana, is someone unmuted? Because I feel like I can hear like a child or something. Anyway, maybe it's just in my head. So anyway, they basically stress the importance of Success Club from the get-go, from the moment the coach signs or that they have their GSR call with them. And, you know, I'm really action-oriented. And so I really thought, you know, and Bonnie said she does something. She did not give us all her steps, but she did say that she does something that's like a 5-day quick start. And so I thought, well, that's an interesting idea. And she gave us a couple of her ideas. And I thought, well, you know, what do I think are the most important initial action items to get your coaches started off on a strong foot? And so what I did was I organized this mastermind brainstorming session between several of the leaders that were at the New Leader Conference. And we got on a Zoom call and we all chatted and kind of talked about what we thought some of those big action items were. And then I used kind of that information to make my 5-day jumpstart. And it was pretty cool because some of the things were things that I hadn't really thought of, but I think are really helpful. That maybe they recommend on other teams. So that was kind of cool. So just a little background, I have had 2 coaches sign basically this month. One of them signed like the very end of January and the other one signed this month. And I've put both of them on the 5-day quick start. One of them's 2 weeks out and one of them is 1 week out. They both are almost at SC10. So they both hit Success Club super fast. One of them is promoting to Emerald tomorrow, and the other one, you know, still has a goal to promote to Emerald by the end of the month. I think she probably will. She's signed her spouse and is still working on another, you know, probably discount coach to promote to Emerald. So I know that my study group is very small with only 2 people, but they've both had great success using this program. And so I think with someone that is a business builder and wants to build, this is a great way to start them out, in my opinion. So I think I can still screen share on your thing, right, Shawana? Okay. So let me screen share with you guys because I know you guys that are my coaches are going to not believe that I made a slideshow. Because normally I'm like so disorganized. I spent a really long time on it too. Probably more than I needed to, whatever. Okay, so here's my new Coach Strong Start system. Okay, so obviously when the coach initially signs up, I send them a welcome email. So this is what my welcome email includes. And of course, these are like a fluid thing, but this is what mine includes right now. So the first thing, of course, I say, welcome to Team Love Conquers All. That's the name of my team. I ask them to subscribe to Sarah Try's website. I do not know if you guys have been on Sarah Try's website. I have, back when I used to do my own Coach Basics, I had watched all her videos and kind of copied them, for lack of a better word, myself, recording them. like recording my own that were similar to hers. So I've been through that training. And then the other day I spent several hours going through her videos again to make sure I knew all the information. So if you are a coach that's already been through Coach Basics and finding a new coach, I would recommend that you go through her Coach Basics again, or at least make sure if those are videos you've seen, because as your coach is going through Coach Basics, you're going to want to know what they're learning and be able to help them. So anyway, on my email, I actually have a link like where they can just click on it, and it's like a, what is that called? Hyperlink, where it takes them directly to her website to log in. I tell them to begin their Coach Basics training right away. So even though they're going to be doing my 5-day Jumpstart, they're also going to be doing Coach Basics, because that's like to get the general information. Mine is just very action-oriented. And basically the reason that I did this is because I don't want people to wait, you know, maybe the 8 weeks or however long it takes them to graduate from Coach Basics to start having success. I want them to have success right away. The thing that I just started to include, because I asked my coaches that were in Coach Basics the other day if they were doing the daily assignments. And I don't know if you guys have been on Sarah's Kajabi page, but there are daily assignments under the video, but you have to scroll down to see them. And I think several of the people said they hadn't noticed that the assignments were there. So now in my email, it says, subscribe to her website, begin your Coach Basics, and make sure you're doing the daily assignments. And I tell them where they're located. Of course, be a product of the product, be drinking your Shakeology, meal plan, workout, log into your online office and set up the electronic funds transfer. So I explained to them how to do that. This used to be something that I went over in my GSR call, but it's pretty easy to do. And I mean, there is a possibility that they may sign a coach before my a customer before my GSR call with them. So I just want to make sure they have that set up right away. Of course, the About Me questions, I asked them to schedule a GSR call. I actually asked them to schedule it within, because I really want to get them going. Because if it's like a week out, you know, they sign, a week later we do the GSR, a week later they're done with their action items. That's already 2 weeks, you know, so I kind of want to get the ball rolling. And then I also attach a link to Lauren's GSR video. Yes, this is kind of redundant, but I think that's helpful for them. And you know, that video is about an hour. It's on her YouTube. And again, I have like a hyperlink so they can do it. And that way, like most of my coaches don't sit down and watch it all in one thing. Most of them like watch a little bit and come back and watch a little bit. And that way, you know, they can do that at the same time or whatever. Okay, so of course, next I do the GSR call. In the GSR call from the get-go, I'm talking to them about the importance of Success Club. Is that because, you know, I explained to them that Success Club equals changing lives, right? We're not just looking at the numbers, but, you know, I explained to them, we call Success Club Changing Lives Club. If you hit SC5 or, you know, most people hit SC6, then you've changed 3 lives. And that's the way we talk about it. And that's the way, even when we do recognition, we talk about it with recognition. So I explained to them, I mean, SC5 literally is like having 3 people join you. To me, that's like, you guys, 3 people, come on. Like everyone can have 3 people join them. That's just what I think. And so I kind of explained that to them. And then I explained to them the statistics of people who consistently hit Success Club are going to be more consistent in their business. They're going to make more income. They're going to rank advance more quickly, and on, right? Not on and on, but that's what I explained to them. And then I tell them, you know, what is it, like when they hit Success Club, what does that do for them? Well, and if they hit Success Club in their first month, they earn a call with Carl Deichler. So that's pretty cool. He's always very inspirational. And also they're recognized on the website. When they hit Success Club in their second month, again, they're recognized on the website. In their third, if they hit it for all 3 months, they're called Success Starters, and they get a free ticket to Summit, which is pretty awesome. It's like, depending on when you buy the ticket, I think up to like a $300 value. That's pretty amazing. So I, you know, got Success Starters last year. It was super cool. And I was looking at the FAQs the other day, and if your coach signed before January 31st of this year and they hit Success Starters, they get a free ticket to this year's summit. And if they sign after, they get a free ticket to next year's summit. So, you know, if you're signing coaches now, you can still put them on this and they can get a free ticket to next year's summit. They can still go to this year's summit with you too, right? And then, you know, or whatever. I also show them on their online office, like that little box where the Success Club points are, and then explain to them about, you know, needing the 90 PV on Home Direct or whatever, but pretty much everyone has that with their Shakeology. I talked to them about needing to complete their 3 websites for their lead eligibility, because hopefully if the goal is to hit both Success Club and this month, they'll get leads the following month. So really bad if they did all that and then they didn't get leads because those websites weren't completed. So that's pretty easy. You know, the Ultimate Reset and the Shakeology websites are like pretty much just putting in your contact info. The only one that takes a little bit of time is your profile, but you know, it's something that can be a work in progress. It doesn't have to be complete. Well, I shouldn't say it doesn't have to be complete. You have to hit complete, but you can go back and like make modifications. I showed them where the product toolkit is so that they know where the challenge group guides are, because hopefully, you know, they're going to be thinking about when they're going to start a challenge group. And literally, like now, sometimes I change it up a little bit, but you guys, for at least a year, I was just over and over using that same PDF or whatever of the, I mean, it's so easy to run a challenge in those guides, cut and paste, right? And then I show them on my page the genealogy to kind of explain a little bit how the binary system works, where they fall in my downline, so that they can see that most likely they're going to start having coaches placed underneath them. And I explained to them how, you know, when they promote to Emerald, hopefully this month, they're going to start earning volume on that. And it's not only going to be volume on, you know, the coaches they're signing, but also the other people on the team. And one thing I love about that is that that has helped me really just try and explain to them the importance of the fact that we work as a team together, because the more you work as a team, you know, the more we all have success, right? So I kind of like that. You know, that's kind of cool about Beachbody. You know, there's a million cool things, but. And then I give them a homework assignment, and that is for them to set a goal date for their challenge group, which of course I'm going to pretty much run for them, you know, run with them, and then a goal date of when they want to hit Emerald. Now, depending on when their GSR call is, like depending on when we scheduled it, depending on when they signed, they may start their Jumpstart the following day. Or I actually had a coach this month that her GSR call was on Tuesday, and I talked to her the week before she signed. She was a partner, and so I actually asked her, did she want to do her Jumpstart starting on Monday, even though we were doing the GSR on Tuesday? And she said yes. But I mean, there's no reason, if you had a GSR on Tuesday, you can start the Jumpstart Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever. It doesn't really matter. Okay, so here's my Jumpstart, you guys. So basically I'm sending it in an email. Right now with these 2 ladies, what I did was I like literally emailed them like from my email. But what I'm creating now, like I just started a little while ago, is I'm actually creating it as a campaign in MailChimp, so that it will be mailed to the person. You know, I just am going to input them into that campaign, and it's going to be mailed to them each morning. And I mean, it's just like for those of you that were in, we're at the retreat this weekend, you know, it's just like what they were saying about having these systems and making it easier. And you could also just have this in your drafts and send it, but I don't know how busy you guys are, but what happens to me, especially like if I'm working or whatever, is like things might get crazy and I might not have gotten a chance to send the email. And that actually happened to my coach last week, and she was so gung-ho, like a couple times she'd email me if it was after 12 noon and be like, am I getting an action item today? So I suggest that you make sure, you know, if you have MailChimp or whatever, I can't remember the difference between the pay and the free. I think I pay $10. I can't remember what you get for which, but also $10 a month isn't that much. But anyway, I would suggest using something like that so that you don't really have, it's kind of brainless. Okay, so here's my day 1. Basically on day 1, they have 3 action items. Usually it's just 1 or 2, but these aren't like super time consuming. So I gave them 3. So the first action item is to change their profile picture. even if it is just a lovely picture of themselves, I still have them change it, okay? First of all, if it's a picture of their dog, they for sure have to change it because it needs to clearly show their face. I recommend that it be either a picture of them by themselves or them with maybe like one other person. You want your clients or customers or challengers or whoever to know who you are. And so, like, for instance, if I had a picture of me and my sister, they may not know which one of us is me. And I want them to know which one of us is me. So it's okay to have like a picture of you and your husband or you and one of your kids, but you don't want it to be like a huge family picture where they can't even see your face. And you don't want them to be uncertain of which person you are in the photo. But even if it's a lovely picture of themselves, I still have them make a new one because this is the perfect way to get these people to reach out to new people. Okay, so I tell them everyone who likes or comments on your new profile picture, you know how it comes up and says, Aimee changed her profile picture, and then like 10 million people like it, and you're like, yay, everyone likes me. Well, those are the people that you're gonna message what I call hey girl messages. So basically it's like super simple. You're not talking to them about Beachbody, but it's a super easy way to start a conversation. And what is the thing that, you know, all of us, but especially new coaches are so afraid to do is reach out to people in a new fashion with new conversations. Well, this is a super easy, non-intimidating way. So basically, you know, Shawana likes my profile picture. Ask her and say, hey girl, thanks so much for liking my profile, my new profile picture. How are you? Right? It does not have to be any longer than that. If it's someone that like you see regularly, you might not want to say how are you because you might have seen them this morning or whatever. But you can, you know, then you can ask more person like, hey, how did Caleb self-create this weekend? Or whatever. Again, of course, always remember to end in a question, right? Maybe the person won't answer. Who cares? 30 people liked it and 10 people commented on it. Of the 40 people, you're going to get some combos. Even if none of the 40 people answered, you still got out of your comfort zone to message them. So still something good happened from it, okay? So number 2, I tell them, go ahead and reach out to your friends and family, close friends, like not, you know, just your Facebook friends, but your close friends and family. However you normally reach out to people, text, call them on the phone, whatever. Tell them about your new business adventure and kind of warn them that you're going to be posting some things on social media. Okay, now that's going to help you in a couple. Oh, and ask them, hey, can you support me by liking and commenting on some of these posts? So that's going to help you because number 1, even though you ask them after you posted and they like or comment, like that's going to make you feel more supported. It's also going to increase your affinity score on Facebook, right? So all of us, I mean, hopefully most of us understand how Facebook works. Even if you have 900 Facebook friends, every time you post it doesn't go out to all the 900 of those people. It may go out to, you know, only a very small fraction. But the more people you're interacting with, the more Facebook goes, oh, people like what she has to say. I'm going to push it out to more people. So if you post something and all your close friends and family who you ask to interact with you, then it's going to push it out to more people who maybe wouldn't have seen it otherwise. So that helps that. And then the last thing is just by reaching out to these people, like, you know, calling up my mom and going, hey, I'm trying this new thing and the Shakeology has been really great. She may be like, well, tell me about the Shakeology. Is it something I can use or whatever? You may actually sell a couple challenge packs just by reaching out to them and asking them for support. It's kind of an indirect way of, you know, gathering some challengers. And I really thought this was really smart. I got this from another person at the New Leader Conference, and they said, you know, sometimes they have new coaches who before they ever make their coming out post, they've already hit Success Club because their friends and family who they just ask for support end up getting a challenge pack, which is pretty cool. Okay, so number 3 of that day is making your list of 50 to 100 people that you know. Now remind them, don't limit yourself on this list because this is not, oh, these are the people that I think might want to join me. No, you're not going to think about that at all. You're just going to think, these are people that I know, right? And then, you know, I give them some examples of how to jog their memory for family, old friends, you know, friends of their kids' friends, those people's parents, people who different things you go to, you know, maybe your doctor, dentist, all those types of people. This is just starting to make kind of that rudimentary contact list. And as we all know, but the new coach doesn't know, there are so many ways to reach out to people, just starting new combos, asking, you know, inviting to a clean eating group, so many things that are not super intimidating, like just completely like selling to them right away, right? And so this is a good way for them to start that list. So that's day one. Okay, day two, they had a lot to do on day one. Day two is more of a mental and emotional prep day. So they only have one action item, and that is to make a post on Facebook. Okay, so they get this email in the morning, but I tell them not to post. For my team, I mean, depending on who your niche is, it may be different for you, but for my team, it's mainly moms, it's a couple dads, it's people that are not necessarily on Facebook throughout the day. And so I tell them, post this post after your kids go to bed. So I say sometime between 8 and 10, because that's the high Facebook time for my target market, which is basically what my team is. So in that email telling them about their coming out post, I give an example of my coming out post, not an example, I actually give them the actual wording I used for my coming out post. And then for a couple of the other coaches on my team as well, I tell them, don't copy exactly what I said or what this person said, but it gives them some ideas so that they kind of know, like, okay, this is some verbiage people use, and I may want to use some of these similar ideas. And then in that email, I also attach my verbiage script for them. And I tell them very clearly, this is the script that I use. I want you to follow something very similar to this. Do not use my exact verbiage. For instance, like the hey girl messages. I call everyone girl. I say girl a lot. Like, but if you're not, it may be weird if someone knows you and you're like, hey girl, and that's never what you say. Like I have a friend that calls sister. And so like, even when she texts me, she'll be like, hey sister, how's it going? Like, it sounds totally normal to me. But if I texted someone and said sister, like, I think they might be like, that's weird, you know? So make sure it's your verbiage. What I do tell them is the questions are fairly standard. And I know you guys have all seen, you know, it's based on whatever that, those questions that we got when we signed up for coaching. I can't even remember what it's called. It's based on those questions of like, what are their goals? What kind of fitness do they like? All those things, right? And I tell them, like, I really want them to follow this script, not to a T, like wording wise, but I really want them to ask each of these questions, because you tend to have someone reach out to you and then automatically want to offer them whatever challenge pack and jump to the end. And there's maybe like, I don't know, 10 questions in there. And I tell them, yes, even though the majority of people that reach out to me, I sell them a 21-day fix challenge pack, like 80% of the people, right? But that doesn't mean as soon as they reach out to me, I'm like, 21-day fix is on sale, right? I ask them, like, what are your goals? I tell them a little bit about my story. Each time they respond back, I relate to them a little bit, and then I ask them the next question. That is for me, because maybe in the process I find out they're some mega athlete and I should start them with something else, or they love yoga and I should start them with something else. But for the most part, they can think through the process. Because if you offer them the challenge pack at the beginning, I don't need all that, I'm going to do this on my own. But if you help them think through that whole process and say it out loud or type it out loud or whatever, of how powerful the challenge group is, how important the meal plan is, how she is, you know, all that, then by the time you get to the end and you're talking to them about the challenge pack, they've already realized in that process that that is what they need and that is how they're going to have success. Whenever I have coaches come to me and say, like, no one wants Shakeology or no one wants, you know, whatever, I can't, you know, everyone wants for free, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, the number one thing I ask is, are you using your script? Because most of the time, they're not following that very simple script. They're either skipping questions or they're like giving the person a novel with multiple of the ideas each time. It just needs to be little tiny. Even though I'm relating to them, it's like 2 sentences relating to them and then the question, right? You don't want to overwhelm them each time. And then the last thing I tell them is to tag me in their coming out post that night so that I can make a big deal about it too. And I also want to kind of like see how exciting it is for them, how everything's going. Okay. Sorry, this is taking a long time. So day 3, on day 3, this is the day that they're going to post about a clean eating group. Okay. Oh, one thing about the coming out post, I'm sorry. I tell them at the end, like, this is how my wording goes. At the end, don't say like, so do you want to join my challenge group, or do you want to join my clean eating group? Just ask them if they want your help, if they want to join you on your journey. I think I said something like, I'd be honored to be a part of your journey, things like that. Make it very vague, because depending on when you reach out to those people, then you'll decide like where they're going to go, right? So day 3 is actually going to be an actual invite post to a clean eating group. I think Shawana does the same thing, and I know a couple of you guys have your own teams as well, and I'm not exactly sure what you do, but what we do is on our team, I run a clean eating group for the entire team once a month. My diamond leader coaches or whoever can run an additional clean eating group if they want, which I encourage, because then you'll have 2 a month, but I run one for my entire team every month so that you really don't have to do anything except invite people and then interact with your people. So my new coaches are inviting people to this clean eating group that I already have scheduled for the month. So it's no additional work for them. Like, they're not running this clean eating group. I just want to make sure that that's clear. So they're going to make this post for their clean eating group, inviting people to it on whatever day I've, set it out to be. And then what I do is I provide some different graphics that I've used in the past, or I tell them, you can Google, and find some fun graphics or whatever. You can create something. I give them sample verbiage, because honestly, when I post a clean eating group, I post almost the same exact verbiage every single time. And then I also tell them, in addition to posting, you need to send out personal invitations, via Facebook Messenger or whatever, to 5 to 10 people, inviting them to your clean eating group. And again, I give them my sample verbiage, which is super simple. It's just like, basically at the beginning, it's like, I'm going to say, hey girl, but most of the time I address the person by their name. So I'll just say like, hey Shawana, next week I'm going to be hosting a free clean eating group with a full 5-day meal plan and grocery list. I'd love to have you join us. What do you think? It's like super short and simple. And then almost everyone's like, yes, that's awesome. What do I need to do? And at that point, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited about you joining us. I just looked at the meal plan and it looks super yummy. It's an option, but I want to give you the option of using our superfood shake during the clean eating group. I drink mine for breakfast every morning, and it's been really great. Let me know if you want to try it. Like, I'm very just simple, straightforward. I say superfood shake. I don't say Shakeology, because they may have some preconceived notion about it. At that point, they're going to say yes or no. They may ask for more information. If they never ask me for the name of it, honestly, you guys, I never tell them. They can find out when they get it in the mail. Oh, it's Shakeology. So then if they say, yeah, I'd love to do that, then I say, awesome. Here are the flavors to choose from. I list them. I tell them it's 5 packets for $25. Option to you priority so that you'll get them in time for the clean eating group. The majority of the people that I am working with now, because they're in my cold network, are not here in town. And so the majority of people I'm mailing things to, and I always mail it priority. Sometimes there's plenty of time and they would get it, not, mailing it through the regular mail. But for me, it's easier to mail it priority because I invoice them via PayPal, and then I can print the label on PayPal, put it on the flat rate priority, and just drop it off at the post office. I don't have to wait in line or anything like that. So to me, like, I'm all about efficiency, and that's easier. Does it cost a little bit more to mail it priority than regular? Yeah, I'm sure it's a couple dollars more, but it's a write-off, right? You can, just track it. There's no reason not to have that write-off. And if you're gonna do that, I would recommend you, because you get this versus mailing it at the post office. So what I do is, when I go to the post office, I just like grab a bunch of the flat rate envelopes so that I have them at home. And so literally it's all ready, and I just drop them in that box and go. And most of the time, for some reason, I had a customer today that was having a problem with it, but every time except for that, even if someone doesn't have PayPal, you can invoice them via PayPal and they can just pay by credit card. So when I tell them I'm going to invoice them, again, I don't say PayPal because for some reason, like sometimes when you say PayPal, people freak out. It's weird. Or they'll be like, I don't have a PayPal, so I can't do that. I just say, I'm going to send you an invoice via PayPal and I'll drop it in the mail tomorrow. And I'm sorry, not via PayPal, via email, and I'll drop it in the mail tomorrow. And then they get it via email. And even if they don't have PayPal, they should be able to input a credit card and pay. And I always say I'll drop it in the mail tomorrow, but I do not mail it until they pay. Okay. So if they don't pay for a week, they don't get it for a week. And honestly, even if like I'm talking to them on Friday, I tell them, oh yeah, I'll mail it priority. I mean, I'm sure they know like priority is 3 days, but it's not a big deal if they get it on Tuesday because they can still like get the 5 days worth or whatever. Okay. Sorry, that was long. Okay, day 4. Day 4 is, again, kind of stepping out of their comfort zone. This is the day that they're going to practice starting some hey girl messages on their own without, any pressure. So I tell them, okay, I want you to send 5 to 10 people hey girl messages on Facebook today. Okay. So I don't know if you guys, like especially you new coaches or maybe people that don't normally send hey girl messages, aren't sure how to start conversations. It's really not hard. You don't have to put a whole lot of thought into it. But I did do a team call back in January about starting new conversations. I think I gave 10 tips or something, or 10 different ways. So you can see that. But, we always talk about like birthday messages are the super easiest thing to do. Everyone that comes up on your notification for birthdays, send them a message. And then even just like sending someone a message and like I said, you can say like, I haven't talked to you in forever. How are you? If it's someone you know. Or if it's someone you only know via Facebook, look at their profile, see what they've been up to. Oh my gosh, I saw you guys just went to Disney World. Was it so fun? I love Disney. What was your favorite part? Okay, there are certain things people always want to talk about. Their kids, if you compliment them on their kids and ask them something, their dogs, and Disney World. Like everyone always wants to talk about those things. So they'll talk your ear off. And it's fun. And then you make a new friend. Does it go to Beachbody? Maybe, maybe not. What I do, I honestly and I don't know, it's worked for me. I honestly don't typically take those conversations to Beachbody myself. Now, one thing, that I didn't say when I did this call earlier, because I did the same call for my team earlier, that is important that Bonnie Ingalls said, and I think this is super smart, is that you should be messaging people every day, but you also obviously need to be posting to your wall every day, right? So if you're messaging someone, and maybe it's someone you don't talk to a lot, I mean, I'm sure you guys know this, they're going to go to your wall and look and see who you are, right? So if you're trying to present yourself as a healthy and fit person and they go to your wall and they don't see anything about that, they're going to be kind of confused, right? Now, does it need to be plastered with Beachbody? Of course not, right? But you can still present yourself as a healthy, fit person. And then also, the other things that your life involves. But especially now, because I've been, posting videos, posting whatever, all this stuff for a year, start a conversation with someone, they'll say to me something about it. Oh my gosh, your posts are, I wish I could get off my couch like you do, all this kind of stuff. Most of the time, I don't even have to bring the conversation to that. But if they don't, we'll just talk about something, right? I don't typically try and turn those conversations into something Beachbody related unless they say I really wish I could do whatever. And then sometimes I'll be like, I have a clean eating group coming up. Do you want to join us? Something like that. But for the most part, I just chat with them and become their friend. And then honestly, I've had a lot of people that I've never talked to and then started messaging and talking to them. And then maybe that month or the next month, they joined a challenge group. Would they have joined had I not messaged them? I don't know, maybe, but it certainly didn't hurt to message them, right? So you formed a new friend and maybe, a new challenger or whatever in the process. Of course, even though they're messaging 5 to 10 people this day, something like this is going to continue. And typically for new coaches, power of 3, message about 3 people a day is what I tell them. But this is like the first time they do it to get them out of their comfort zone. So this is like day 4. It could be like kind of like day 4 of being a coach. They're already messaging people, right? Okay, day 5. Okay, so this is their final day. Hopefully they've already done, you know, quite a bit. Hopefully they've already talked to a lot of people. If they get stuck talking to people, I always tell my coaches, just screenshot your conversation and send it to me and I'll help you walk through it or whatever. So day 5, I say, let's set a date for when you're going to host your fitness challenge group. Of course, I'm helping them with it. Depending on what day of the week that is, they may or may not actually do their post that day. You don't want to look like you're doing a whole lot of right hooks. However, I do think personally, when you first start out, maybe you can do a little bit more right hooks because people are kind of interested in what you're doing. And I know you guys may or may not know what I'm talking about, but it's kind of like those invites. I mean, 2 days ago you did a clean eating invite, but in my opinion, number 1, a clean eating and a challenge group invite are a little different. But yeah, you don't want people to think like you're going on and like trying to sell them something every day. So depending on what day it is, like for instance, my coach last week, her last day was day 5 was Friday. And so we actually chose for her to make her challenge group post on Sunday, because as a lot of you guys know, Sunday evening is like a hot night to post. A lot of people are on. So that's what we did. But I mean, if your day 5 is Tuesday, I might not have them wait that long. Another night that for whatever reason seems to be kind of a happening night is Thursday night. So, you know, if they finish on Tuesday, I may say, hey, why don't you post on Thursday? And honestly, like it wouldn't be a big deal if they posted Thursday and Sunday because there's kind of like a time in between or whatever. So that'd be fine too. So anyway, and, you know, of course I help them making that post. And then the other thing is I want them to confirm what is their goal date for Emerald. Hopefully it's by the end of the month. My coach last week, she basically had already promoted to Emerald. It's just that she signed both of her coaches last Thursday. And so she doesn't promote until tomorrow. But I mean, honestly, you guys, she has like 4 or 5 coaches now. And like, she's been a coach for 2 weeks. So, I mean, what I'm telling you is like, if you put this into place, yes, not everyone wants to join everyone right away, but maybe, right? And had she been stuck, I don't want to say stuck in Coach Basics because that's important, but had she not been doing any action items, who knows if her business would have taken off. So they may promote to Emerald by the end of that week, and that's kind of the goal in my mind, but I'm kind of crazy, as you guys know. So anyway, on that email, no matter what, like even though she basically had already promoted to Emerald or was about to promote to Emerald, already had the coaches, I still sent her the video. Now these are my videos. You guys are welcome to use my videos. They're on my YouTube, or if you have a video or if Shawana has a video, use that, whatever. But I always send them my importance of Emerald, which is a super short, basically U+2. It explains like how you get to Emerald. It's super like how it's kind of easy to get to Emerald, basically. Even if they've already signed 2 coaches, I still send that to them because it's kind of nice for them to see it. And then also like they can use it for their new coaches too. If they have not yet signed their spouse, I send them the importance of signing your spouse video as well. And you guys are welcome to use my signing your spouse. It's pretty telling because you never know how your business is going to take off. And this video, it's like a super at the beginning of my business because you guys, like, I was, I'm trying to remember when I promoted to Emerald. Like, I think maybe it was mid-January. Definitely took me a couple, 2 or 3 weeks, I don't know, to promote to Emerald. I remember like I really pushed for it because Lauren was hosting a group and you had to be Emerald to be in, like, it was the Shalene Johnson push in that group. So, you know, I pushed for it or whatever. But my point is that my spouse at first wasn't keen on me signing him up. But I showed him some, you know, other videos that I'd seen about the numbers about it. And luckily, like, he agreed to it because had I waited like a month longer, he would have been pretty far down my downline. And we would have missed out on a lot of volume. And that equates to a lot of income, right? And now, especially with my second CBC, like, we're really seeing that success and that income the the volume growing. Okay. So it's really, and I kind of show that in that video, like how quickly it can grow. You never know. I mean, this girl, you guys, that signed, she literally last week was her first week coaching, and she has 4 coaches. Like, even if she had not signed her husband, he still would have been a rung or 2 down. You know what I mean? I mean, it just makes sense. And to me, what I tell my coaches, you know, honestly, even some of my coaches will say, well, I'm going to sign my spouse when I have another discount coach. Okay, well, for sure you have to sign your spouse when you have another discount coach to promote to Emerald. But the other thing I think is, to me, it kind of shows whether or not you're really serious about it. Like, are you serious about building business? Then freaking sign your spouse up. I mean, give me a break. You know, that's kind of what I think. Like, show everyone that you are serious about it by doing this. And I promise, like, I mean, you guys all know, you guys probably have already all signed up your spouses, but it's definitely going to make a difference. And of course, all of them ask, like, well, my spouse, there's no way they want to do the business. And some of them get confused, like, about Randy, because he is running a challenge group now. He is doing a little bit more. But I mean, he certainly, like, he does not want to be like a coach for his career. He doesn't have the same aspirations as me. And he didn't even start a challenge group until last month, right? So, you know, I tell them that's okay. Like, for the most part, most people run their spouse's business, and their spouse may help in some way. Like, he does my books, but like, he only yesterday signed his first coach, and that's someone that we signed together and we are training together. So he'd never signed a coach before that, and he's a diamond, you know? I mean, so it's not, you know, I try and explain that to them. Like, it's not a scary thing. It's not like you're expecting your spouse to do something that they're not ready for or whatever. It's honestly just like a super fast way to give you a second business center from the get-go, which is pretty cool. So anyway, that is what I do. So far, it's going really well. What I really want to hear is if you guys implement the system, which I'd recommend, that I really want to hear how it goes for you guys. Because obviously, like, my whatever beta test group has been very small. And like my coach that just signed yesterday, we're going to put him on it. Anyone else that, you know, hopefully we'll have some new coaches soon, because we're doing a sneak peek this week. And there's lots of people that are interested, which is exciting, because I'm pretty sure like no one's ever interacted with the sneak peek that I've done. So I promise you guys, just keep doing it, even if you feel like you're talking to yourself. Like, I've been doing sneak peeks for a long time, and I'm usually like in there by myself. And this week there's like 3 people talking to the group. I'm like, yay. But anyway, if you guys use this system, I'd really like to hear how it works for you. Like, is it working? And then also, if you feel like there's a really important action item that we've left out, you know, let me know, because it's a fluid system. And really, I just want success for, you know, our team, right? Does anybody have any questions? That was kind of long.
Very cool. That was awesome. Is it possible that you can stop the screen share and I can go to gallery view? Because I saw some questions in the chat box. And
yeah, there's a ton. Sorry.
And I wanted us to cover some of those as well. I think so. Some of mine have kind of disappeared, but let me go back to the top.
Oh, okay. I can see. Okay, Megan. Are you wondering what to address the men in Hey Girl messages? What about?
Yeah, like, I don't know. I feel like males connect with people in different ways than girls do. Like,
way different.
So, like, would you put them through the same steps, and how would you recommend them connecting with their people?
So my coach that started yesterday is a male, so he's going to be going through this process. So he's my first, other than my husband, who we run his business together. He's my first male coach to not be the spouse's son. So I don't know how well it's going to work, but I'm hoping it works well. When my husband said to people, what I had him start, how he talks to people in real life is he'll just say like, hey man, or he might address them by name, you know, like, hey, whatever, Steven. I don't know. I can't think of one of his friends' names. But, you know, so I think you can still do all the same things. One thing that I will say, I've heard from other male coaches, before my husband did his challenge group this last month, we watched some of the male coaches a little bit to kind of see how they work their businesses, because some of them work them differently. Now, some of them work it very similar. people like Scotty Hobbs does and Jimmy, Coach Jimmy. I think they both work their businesses very similar to female, and they both have male and female challengers. Now, I also had my husband watch Trey, who is like, to me, more, I mean, I think Scotty Hobbs is masculine, but I don't know. He's like, I don't know how to explain it. If you know who the coaches are, you know, but Trey Bear like cusses and drinks and stuff like that. So I had my husband watch him a little bit and follow him on Facebook. I mean, I think he has male and female challengers, Trey Bearer, but he's a little bit. One thing that I've heard about for men too, and I definitely, like, my husband definitely found this when we posted transformation photos, is that they are very drawn to results. So women are really drawn to, you know, the interaction and stuff. Like in my husband's challenge group, like they're not like all touchy-feely. They're just like, I did this workout. It kicked my booty. And then, not really posting sweaty selfies. I mean, he was in another male challenge group that sometimes they did that. Like I think they had like a superhero Saturday or something. And on Saturdays they posted like a selfie and a superhero picture. But my husband doesn't do that in his group. It's pretty much just like, are you doing it? Do they have questions? Check in type of thing. Like it's pretty straightforward. And definitely when people reached out to him, it was when he showed like the transformation photos. Now, does that mean that you have to have results to work the business? I don't think so. Especially because it's the same as with women. I mean, you're probably going to reach out to your warm market first so people know when they can trust you, you know? He kind of branded his as kind of no nonsense type of thing when he did the invite post and stuff, and when he talked to people. His group is made up of some of his people he knows from church, and then some of my challengers. So that's been kind of nice because a lot of the time my challengers, husbands or boyfriends or whatever, will join them, but they just kind of get secondarily supported. They can join our big challenge group community. I mean, you've been in there and there's some men in there. But this has been kind of nice because I was able to say, hey, my husband's running a challenge group too. And it's also kind of nice because then most of them either bought an additional challenge or Shakeology. So it kind of ended up being helpful Success Club-wise too. I don't know if that answered your question.
Mm-hmm. All right. And then, Lindsay, you had a question, right?
Oh, about what question? Script? The script, like when I'm reaching out to about the challenge group, is that what she's?
Yeah, I think
it was on day 2.
Oh yeah, when I say I send my verbiage, I mean I think my script, like I don't know if you've seen. Gosh, I got it like whenever I first signed up. Like I think it's like I think maybe Alexa might have uploaded it into. Well, you're probably not in Team FitRev. It might have been in like the Team FitRev files, and I just basically modified it into my own thing. Like I have my story at the beginning, and you know, then the questions. But the questions are basically like I tell them my story very briefly, and then the questions are like, you know, the first question is, what are your health and fitness goals? I mean, you know, it's not like brain surgery. And then the next one is, you know, they tell me or whatever, and then I'll be like, well, what kinds of workouts do you like to do? Or what are you know? And then how's your nutrition? And then, you know, do you have support? I'm trying to think of what all they are. And then I like the way that after you have support, I say something like, I really like the way I word it because I really only work with women. And especially now, like if it's a male, I just refer them to my husband. But I say something like, do you think that being in a group of like-minded women all working together and supporting one another to reach goals will help you to achieve your goals or something like that? And then like, who's going to say no to that, right? No, you know, yes, or whatever. Yeah. And then like, that kind of thing. And then like I'll recommend the program, ask them, you know, I can send them the video. Like I said, like 80% of what I sell is 21-day fix. I don't know about you guys, but I can't send that video over Facebook. Yeah, it's and for the most part, I'm talking to people over Facebook. And so at that point, I just kind of say like, for some reason, Facebook blocks this video. It's not anything weird. It's just YouTube. May I email it to you? And the nice thing about that is then you also already have their email. You don't have to ask them later when you're asking them about the Shakeology. Because once they've sent to the challenge pack, I kind of want to get that enrollment to them real fast. So then I don't have to ask them for their email then. I already knew it.
Yeah, I have that actually on my team page. I can send it to you, Lindsay, too, if you want it. I have it. It's like Alexa's all challenge group scripts or something, and I tell people to make it their own. But really, it's like my go-to, and it's just habit now to send it pretty much do it that way. It's like just like, you know, it's just habit.
Yeah, I do something very similar too. I think I took her script and kind of made it into my own.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also, like on mine, I don't send this to all my new coaches because I think it's very overwhelming, but on mine, I actually have like pages and pages afterwards of all the times that I've overcome people's objections. Now, if a coach ends up with an objection, I send that to them. But I feel like if this is like day 2 of coaching, I'm like sending them like a 20-page document, they'll be like, what? You know, but.
Yeah. That's a really good idea, like sending your coaches like how to overcome that objection too. That's amazing. I like that idea a lot.
And I like to, you know, kind of like they were saying, like don't reinvent things like that, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Like the money objection.
The one I don't have any time either. Like, you know.
Exactly. So does anybody else have any questions? I think this is like, I like this a lot. So just to clarify, you send them basically you send them the email, and then you just basically touch base with them, and this is what you're sending them each day to do, or you're reaching out to them each day to do these tasks. I guess I'm just a little confused because you know how we also do like the welcome email, and if you're doing like the way Sarah does it, like how you send them the welcome email, then you send them like the day 2 email, day 3 email.
Yeah, I'm not doing it exactly the way Sarah is doing it.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm sending because like, number one, that was a lot for me. But also I wanted to do it this way. And like all the Google forms and stuff, I was like, ugh. And honestly, I just like, I don't really want them to go fill in a Google Doc with all their about me. I don't know. So I just kind of like modified it. Like what I'm doing is my welcome email is not that much different than what it was before Sarah had her website. It's just like the initial welcome email. And I do tell them to go sign up for her training, but I don't do like all those emails that she talked about in her starting coaches out. So they've only gotten a welcome email before they start getting these.
Okay, very cool. I like that. Yeah.
Because in that welcome email, the about me questions are there. So they have to email that back to me, obviously, before we can do the GSR. And like I said, depending on how much I feel like they know, like if it's someone who's been a challenger and kind of knows things, or, you know, at this point, a lot of the time, like I've talked with someone on the phone before they signed on to coach. So I feel like it might be okay to start them on their 5 days before we do the GSR, kind of like I did that last week with the girl.
Okay, that's awesome. I like this a lot. So thank you for clarifying that. I don't have any other questions. Does anybody else have any other questions? I see Megan looks really sleepy up there. So thank you for being on.
Sorry, Megan. Thanks for hanging with us.
Will you be able to share the slides?
Sure.
Cool. Thank you.
I think it's just a PDF. I think I can upload it to the team page.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. So I'm going to stop the recording, and I'm going to do a really quick